I know who else came to Mull. Sean Hughes, the comedian. Lovely bloke. He came while we were there to do... He was doing a season called... a series of shows called Sean's Shorts. It's not to do with trousers, it was just short programmes. He came and did one on Mull. Really nice bloke. What was really funny... This is... well, I don't know what it is. There's probably a word for it. Anyway, years later, he ended up doing The Railway Children in London with Blair. Who knew it? Eh? Blair played the spy. From what he had to. He was a Russian, and Sean Hughes was in it with him. He was lovely. Anyway, that's not what I was going to talk about. I had a sudden thought. Do you know who gets overlooked a lot? When, particularly at when you're training, you have stage management, which is a known thing. You have stage managers who manage the stage, DSMs or deputy stage managers who tend to be on the book, that is cueing the show, saying when the lighting and sound cues and all that. ASMs, assistant stage managers, who run around doing stuff on stage during shows. Slightly apart from them is something called a company manager. Now it's a bit of a weird one. This company manager is a sort of he's in charge of the company. He manages them. The first one I really met, a proper company manager, was a lovely man called Howard Jepson, who was the company manager on Jolson, the musical, when I was at the Victoria Palace. And he was absolutely gorgeous. He would wear a black tie every night for the show. And towards the end of the show, after the last cue that required any sort of intelligence, Perry... no, not Perry. What am I talking about? The stage manager. What was he called? Jeff. His partner was called Perry. He's a mistake. Anyway, yeah. So Jeff, the stage manager, and I, Master Cobler, would go up and see Howard for the last few minutes of the show and have a little chat about how things had gone. And he'd pour us a little whiskey each. Nice single malts. We'd have a different one every night. Lovely. There weren't even any midges because we were in the middle of London, but it was nice to have. Anyway, at one point I found myself being a company manager on a couple of occasions, and I have to say it was outside my real comfort zone, to be honest. I had to do it for pantomime, weirdly enough, in Torquay, where I was combining it with the other roles of technical stage manager and stuff, but I was, my big job, company manager. And I thought, manage the company. What can go wrong, eh? I was phoned by the producer who said, one week, once we just got into the theatre, in those days we were paid weekly, and unless you specified otherwise, you were paid in cash. The producer phoned me up and said, can you go to the bank and get the money because you need to do the pay slips for everyone. There's nothing to it. I'll fax you a list. Didn't have email, we had faxes. I'll fax you a list with everyone, all their details, who to go. Just go to the bank, say who you are, I've phoned them, you're collecting the money to put in the wages. Right. Piece of cake. I can do that. How hard can it be? It's a 5-minute walk from the theatre. Walked along into the bank. Hello, it's me. I've come to collect the dosh, the money. I understand my producer. And they went, yes, you're here for the pantomime. Yes, marvellous. Yeah, we've got the money. Have you got a bag? And I went, no, do I need a bag? And they went, well, put the money in. I said, well, I thought it probably comes in bags, doesn't it? It's in like big rolls of money in a bag. And they said, yeah, but there's quite a lot of it. Well, it's notes. It's even £50 notes. Even if it's a couple of grand, I can shove it in my pocket. And they went, no, it's a bit more than that. Well, how much is it? And they went, well, it's £38,000. Now, at the time, you could buy a terrace house in London, in Leytonstone specifically, for about £25,000. So 38 grand was quite a hefty sum. So I had to think, and I said, well, I've got a jacket on. I know, I'll do my jacket up. I had a nice leather jacket I got off the market. Anyway, it's a nice jacket. Did it up, zipped up the front. I said, give it here, I'll just shove it down here. So I started shoving the money down the front. I ended up, I looked I looked like a big fat bloke, that's what I looked like, with money just coming out of my collar. Staggered out of the bank, like carrying, wandered down the road, and all the way I was just thinking, I could just bugger off. I could bugger off, go buy a house. I didn't know, because I was good. So I went back to the theatre and did all the wages for everybody. And yeah, so that was that. I was going to tell you something else about company managing, wasn't I? What was it? Oh yeah, the other job you had to do as company manager, looking after the company, was after, after the show, company would want to go and do stuff together. You had to arrange nights out and stuff. In Halifax, we arranged a night out after Panto one night. I was doing Panto again. I seem to spend my life doing Panto. Anyway, I can't even remember what the pantomime was. But we were there in Halifax another year doing pantomime, company meal. So I'd investigated, found this nice restaurant, walking distance from everyone's digs, so we could all drink, so that was all right. Went to this restaurant, they stayed open late for us, brilliant. The entire company in the restaurant had a brilliant time. Things did get a bit out of hand, to be fair. Quite a lot of drink was drunk, and it culminated in a food fight. Didn't end well. We left, needless to say. Now, being the sensible one, I thought the next morning when I woke up, I probably need to go back there with my company manager hat on, figuratively speaking. I don't actually have a hat. They don't give you you know what I mean. In my role as company manager, I felt beholden to go and check everything was absolutely fine with the restaurant. We didn't do any bad press, obviously, because that could affect ticket sales. So I went to see them, and they were still clearing up. So I was quite thankful. I said, "Is the manager around at all?" I just wanted to thank him for last night, make sure everything went okay. And they seemed to be grumpy, to be honest. No, he's not here. They didn't say it like that. This was Yorkshire, wasn't it? Halifax accent. No, he's not here. Something like that. And I said, I just wanted to thank him for being so accommodating. And he went, well, there's no point thanking him. He's dead. What? Oh, he died. What were you doing? He was here last night. I said, aye. You lot went. He had a heart attack and dropped dead. Oh. I mean, on the positive side, we didn't owe them any more money. And he wasn't going to moan about us because he was dead. So, that wasn't good, but, what could he do? So there you go.